Hello everybody, Bubbles S here and welcome back to HOI4. In today's video we're going to be playing as the British Raj, attempting to answer the question of what's the point of the All India Forward Bloc. So let's get started. First things first, research slots. We're going to grab ourselves civilian trains and mountain infantry. Next up, civs. It's just going to be mill spam. Fractional mills and dockyards, it's going to be weapons and convoy spam. For the army, we're going to gather it up and disband it. Do we have enough civs for an intelligence agency? Yes we do, so let's create one. And that's pretty much all of our prep out the way. For now, we can't do provincial elections, so instead we're going to start off with the Great Indian Peninsula Railway. And now let's go up to speed 5 and begin. You can tell this is together for victory tree, because next up is industrial expansion, which gives us 1 civ. And then there's something like Lithuania's tree that gives 4 in 70 days. After things like civilian trains and mountain infantry, a standard electronics industry and so on. However, if you wanted to, you could take advantage of the Commonwealth research, get things like basic torpedoes and early submarine hulls fairly quickly. Some advice for you, you know? Back to the 1 civ. Now we're going to be working our way down to the Indian Institute of Science, so it's going to be Tata Steel and Assam Oil next. Hey, both of these are alright, 24 steel and 3 oil, which isn't much actually, but still better than no oil. Anyway, 150 political power, so let's go for that silent workhorse. Alright, 100 political power and over 20 command power, let's go for some military high command. Let's start with the infantry specialist. Alright, he's an expert, but you know, same thing. 100 political power and nothing to use it on? Well, I think it's time for worker conditions then. More stability? What's not to like? Now that's a bit more like it when it comes to research slots. Next up, Lessons of the Great War. 20 command power, let's go for another military high command. It's going to be the army reformer this time. Probably should have gone for him first, but oh well, better to get him now than not at all. And let's follow that up with Indianization of Army. Really should be Indianization of the Army, shouldn't it? Right, we have 35 XP and that can only mean one thing. Yep, it's Pro Officer Corps time. And as usual, its other benefit of more command power is very useful considering just how little war support we have as India right now. I find it funny this is the Indianization of the army when we don't have an army. I know it doesn't really matter, but you know, it's one of those little things. We still have a little bit of time, so let's expand the Mazgagoon dock, which I have definitely butchered and I'm very sorry for that. It's probably Mazgagoon, right? Oh yeah, I forgot British Raj starts on Grand Battle Plan, which gives us access to theatre training. Definitely going to go for it now. We have even more political power, so let's go for the Elusive Gentleman. And finally, the moment we've been waiting for. Japan declares war on China, and world tension is over 11%, which allows us to do provincial elections. Finally, our political tree starts. So much political power, so little uses for it. Let's go for this guy for more stability. 89%. That's very, very good. There's the provincial elections, and now we're going to go with the Swaraj. Why is our garrison division the armoured division? That makes no sense. Just going to change that to the infantry division. Now the local elections are over, it's time for the main event. The All India Forward Bloc. Yep, the Swaraj movements have made massive gains. I should note, today we are going to be evaluating both the communist and fascist tree because they are basically the exact same as each other. Although we do have to choose which way we're going to be going. And today, we're going to be seeking help from Germany. And we're going to immediately hire ourselves Bose, the fascist demagogue. I should note how this event works. So what happens is you send an event to Germany asking for support, and if Germany says yes, then an event gets sent to Britain asking for India's independence, and if that happens you get independence immediately. I haven't seen this work on historical, you might have more luck on ahistorical though. And no, before any of you ask, improving relations from what I see doesn't seem to influence it. In fact, can someone go into the event files and actually see what the chances of this working actually is, because I don't actually know them. Be very curious to see what they are. And what does Germany say? They're not going to help us. Thanks. In any case, it's time for the Indian National Army to rise up. Yeah, support isn't big, but there is a reason why it disbanded the army, you know. And so, it has begun. Wow, we're bigger than I expected. So how are we going to win the Civil War? Quite easily. Division designer, create empty. Mobile battalions, cavalry, save. And now, how many of those can we train up? Yeah, I think 96 will do. We'll deploy those as soon as possible and just run down the remaining victory points. Don't worry, world tension is far too low. Britain won't be called into this. For now, let's just do Indian Sandhurst. And activate war propaganda against them. It said our support would be based on our actual percentage, and we barely had 20%. This is what 20% gives you? I'd hate to see what 40% gives you. And there we go, they're all ready. Deploy, break them up into 4 armies, and we'll go. As soon as they get org, we'll run them down. Oh hey, but we have no trains, so let's commandeer some. How weird is that? We're literally just running through the British and French divisions. They're not doing anything for some reason. And it's already over. India is now free. That went as well as I expected it to. I mean, deleting the army is usually a key way to win. So, no real surprise there. Change the divisions over to infantry. We don't really need that cavalry anymore. Let's just exercise them while we can. And yes, this event has now fired. There is civil unrest in northern India. What's happened is we didn't do two-nation theory. So what's going to happen is Pakistan is going to rise up soon. Now this might seem ominous, but this is HOI4. We can take advantage of this. You know we can. Alright, let's go to limited conscription. We clearly need it. There is one thing with the Indian folk issue that's always annoyed me, and it's this. Agrarian society, recruitable population factor minus 69%. Now, from what I know, this mostly exists for multiplayer balance. I heard that in the past, like in 2016-2017, what players used to do was use colonial divisions from India to just stack the front line against Germany and would just cause a stalemate. And alright, I can kind of understand why they do that, but this completely breaks India's balancing in this game. Because it's so annoying. But the worst bit about it is that it really diminishes the role of the Indian army in World War II. If I recall correctly, the Indian army was like 2-3 million strong. But with this, you'd hardly be able to tell. I have thought of a way to rebalance agrarian society that also allows for multiplayer. And here's what I do. There should be a new tree somewhere around Lessons of the Great War, which only activates when India is at war. So you're at war, and you can do several focuses that gets rid of it. So like one that gets you 20% recruitable population factor, 15, and so on. So yes, you can still probably somewhat stack the front line with Germany, but even then, it'd be so late that the German player could probably overrun France before the British player could even do any of that. Agrarian society as it currently is should not exist. And that's the big thing that the All India Forward Bloc is probably known for. Rani of Yanzi. Yep, we're going to get a female as our general. How special. But speaking of generals, an Indian Sandhurst actually allows us to do something quite special. You see this general right here? He starts as a skilled staffer and is level 4. So that immediately means we can make him an army logistics specialist. So basically India has a army logistics specialist from the start, which is great. Oh yeah, I can't believe I forgot about this for so long. India doesn't start with artillery, which is something they really should start with, but I'm getting it now. I should have probably gotten that from the start. Shall we go for rebuild the nation? Yeah, let's go for it. 3 civs and 2 mills. Not bad. It's better than most of our other industry focuses. And here she is, Lakshmi. You know what? You're going to be our field marshal. We need one anyway, and you look like a good candidate. We need even more manpower, it seems, so extensive conscription. See what I mean? We're already at extensive, and we don't even have 1 million manpower. Again, if I recall correctly, the Indian army was mostly volunteers, and it was 2-3 million strong. This agrarian society is a bit of a joke. Anyway, I do have artillery now, so let's start producing some. In fact, most of my production is going to go there. Because what is our main template actually going to look like? Well, you know, one more infantry, artillery, and artillery. I know, massive deficits, but we are going to solve that easily enough. In fact, if there's anything I actually should be building, it's trains. So you know what, brief detour, 3 factories there. Most of the factories we get from Rebuild the Nation will go there. From 36 factories to 40. Alright. So, let's do Indian Gurkhas now. 2% recruitable population factor and an elite unit. This is also why we had to do mounted infantry research from the start. Otherwise, we couldn't do this. Wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. For 36 factories, 40. We should be at 41 factories. We should have 2 factories on civilian trains. Is this bugged, or did it send it to one of my non-core states? Yep, it sent some of the factories to non-core states, didn't it? Oh, the best part is they sent the mills to Mandalay, which is in Burma, which will also eventually rise up against us. There's another thing that should be immediately changed. Rebuild the Nation should only affect Indian core states, especially in the case of Pakistan and Burma and Bangladesh. And it has begun. It says an Indian civil war, but what it actually is Pakistan. We cannot let them break away like this. Let's do this. And immediately it gives us 23 extra divisions. Good. Right. 72 will be in West Pakistan, and 48 will be in Bangladesh, East Pakistan. I'm not going to be encircling it entirely, because here it doesn't have the best supply, but instead they'll just be on this side. Let's do this. And since we are at war, my favourite thing is now available, Lend-Lease. Let's do it. We have a massive deficit, and we know some guys who can help us. I've already improved relations with Germany, Italy and Hungary. We're going to get a lot of equipment. Oh, it looks like my relations with Hungary faltered. That's okay. As you can see, already got quite a lot. And let's do some more war propaganda. Kinda need it. Funny, we got the event for a provisional government in Pakistan. Don't think we're going to do that. Nearly almost forgot. Let's break Pakistan's cipher as well. 110 days, good. We'll send the twins over, and that guy. There are so many little benefits here. Since Pakistan is up to 81 divisions, we can also do some unit grinding by doing this. Very quickly, Lakshmi will gain a lot of traits. There we go. Capitulating Pakistan will be kind of hard, but that's alright. As I say, there's lots of benefits with this. War support, war bonds, Lend-Lease. So much we can do from this. Going for an encirclement around Dakar. Nice. Definitely go for that port. For focus now, there isn't really too much we need to do. Let's just do some little things like Lions of the Great War. And hey, there's Fate of Czechoslovakia. You know what that means? Czechoslovak Lend-Lease time. Now that's what I'm talking about. We could have even improved relations with the Soviets if we wanted even more. And we've just lost Burma. Probably because Pakistan's taken it. Unfortunate. Oh well, we could probably re-justify or something on them later. Still need to get Dakar. And nice, another doctrine. If making benefits from war doesn't summarise HOI4, I don't know what does. We might not be able to capture Dakar, but if we can cut it off, I'll accept that. Oh man, those divisions are just melting in our way. The easiest way to beat Pakistan will just be the classic encirclements, cut them up, confuse the AI. And we've completely encircled Dakar now. Just need to flush that out. Now that's what I call an encirclement. 10 divisions. Perfect. Let's break that cipher then. Even more bonuses. And we've just managed to encircle Pakistan. Since Pakistan rose up, is there now a supply hub in Lahore? Yes. Don't know if that was already there or not, but nice. We need to keep moving on to Peshawar though. Breaking through these mountains is going to be a load of fun, let me tell you. Do you think Germany and Italy will lend me some tanks? I'm going to experiment on that one. Nice, we basically got a Panzer division out from that. And we've just flushed that pocket out. So now we have the full army group facing Pakistan. And with the fall of Karachi, we now have... Well, I stand corrected. I thought we had an encirclement of 15 divisions, but nope, that's the end of that war. Alright. Whatever happens to Pakistan is your choice. They aren't your cause, so puppeting them could be useful, so you know, more manpower. But let's have some clean borders and just annex them. There we go. If we actually bothered to garrison East Bengal properly, we probably could have kept Burma, but to be honest, we could just justify on them when the Allies are distracted and get them back too. But I think this is where we're going to call this. Let's have a look at what our stockpiles now look like. Pretty good. Even managed to get some tanks and some cash out of that. Artillery isn't the best, but oh, we can solve that. That won't be a trouble for too long. The army is very strong. I think one of our generals is actually adaptable now. Yeah, look at Frank. There you go, he's now adaptable. If we were going to continue this game, well, invading the Allies wouldn't be too hard. We'd just have to build some subs, could easily make some bathtubs. There we go. Spam those out, join the Axis, invade Britain, GG. But we've done that so many times, you know how it'd go. We encircle London for war score, and we take the lot. We don't really need to do that today. But if you did, you'd get the achievement Rule Britannia. So what's the point of the All India Forward Bloc? Well, there's not much, because, well, there's only a few focuses actually unique to it. German technology and research excursions are just research buffs, similar to Commonwealth research that India starts with. Okay, these boosts are alright, but they're one time and honestly, meh. The best is probably that times 300 for fighters and CAS. If you really focus, you could probably get CAS or fighter free in 1941 or something. So how would I improve these focuses? Well, they clearly need a lot more, don't they? They need more pass, they need more things to do, the whole shebang. For the fascist tree, they need 3 ways to go. One is anti-Britain, one is joining Japan, and one is India going on its own. Anti-Britain is pretty self-explanatory. You join the Axis, get some bonuses, maybe some claims, so on. Japan, the same. But for India going out on its own, I guess moving into things like Tibet, Nepal, maybe Burma and Siam, some war goals there, that would be a small but interesting campaign. For the communist tree, it needs 2 paths, a Stalinist path and a non-Stalinist path. The Stalinist path should involve you invading Iran and Afghanistan, so you have a direct route to the Soviet Union, and then you get some boosts to help the Soviets in the war against Germany. Things like, I don't know, maybe some tank divisions, some defense buffs, you get the idea. The anti-Stalinist path is similar to the fascist version of it, just India striking out on its own. But for this, there should be a way to spread the revolution, make Burma communist, maybe Afghanistan if you're really feeling special, Nepal, Tibet, and so on, you get the idea. Pretty simple stuff, I know, but when you're working with this, you need simple stuff before you make it more elaborate. I'm sure many of you in the comments can think of even more elaborate things for India, because as a country as big as India, they definitely deserve a big focus tree. But I think this is where we're going to have to call it here. So, I thank you for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed it. Feel free to leave any suggestions in the comments below for future video ideas. I'm always looking for them. However, until we meet again, this has been me, Bubble Zest, exploring the question of what's the point of the All India Forward Bloc. And until we meet again, goodbye.